amazing human beings coming together for one sole purpose to talk about the power of surrender, the power that can happen in your life when you actually step out and let God step in.
How are
There
you?
you are. Hello. How are you?
I'm great, fam. How are you?
Good. You're probably getting ready to be traveling in just a couple weeks for your like big thing here.
No, I'm not freaking out at all. It's been
Okay,
very
not at
calm,
all.
very relaxed.
Why don't you tell people where you're tuning in from? Because we got some people that are brand new to you, really brand new to this whole space, which is awesome.
All right. Well, first, I'm coming in from Delaware, the only place that ends in where. Most people don't know where it's at. But there is other people from Delaware on here too. So we're representing strong today. It's like 50% of the population of Delaware is on this Zoom right now.
I
So
love
we're
it.
here in strong numbers, ready to rock.
So Michael is one of my coaches, and we connected years ago. And just these past several years has it really just evolved into just a stronger, impactful relationship. Now, Michael, the big part for you is that you do everything with the purpose of stopping suicide.
Yeah, so yeah, and suicide, selfish behavior. That's my jam. So yes, man.
Yes. And can you tell us why?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my brother's one of the 22 that served the country. That took his own life. He did that in the early '90s, and then one of my best friends did it in 2011. And then I've lost numerous people to drugs and different things of that and street behavior. So there's numerous reasons why that this matters to me, but it's definitely something that's my mission. So I was created to do it. So now it's my job to do it.
Now it's your job to do it.
Also, everybody's turning their cameras on. You're all making me nervous. Everybody go relax. Turn your cameras back off. Go read a book or something.
No, they know we got blue and green in the house. That's
All
what
right.
happens
Ah,
when we do that. But like on my jam is my God, right?
okay.
My grand overall designer. And when you're the leader, okay, and people go to you for answers, and people go to you for guidance, and people go to you for your expertise and knowledge, what do you do when you feel like you've hit a breakdown moment and you have to surrender? What does that look like for you?
All right. Well, first, when they come to me with a problem, I pass them on to who I know that can actually help them. That's first and foremost. But also, I thought Barbara was talking about me when she was like, go outside and scream. I was like, man, you got a video camera in my yard or something? The trees around me, and we have a great relationship. They let me yell and they just take it. So also, I mean, I used to be so foolish. I used to think it was like me against the world. I had that mentality. It was a foolish mentality. It helped me for a little bit, but it hurt me more. Um, I'm blessed. Like you talked about the blue and green. There's amazing people in this room that are blue and green that in any second that I can message them and they'll be there for me. Um, I bother the hell out of Justin. That dude literally complains about me messaging him. But he's great about it. He's nice to me about it. But so he tells everybody else on the team, shut up and talk to Fabber or something. So he doesn't can stop talking to me. But I'm blessed. Like we have the most amazing people that are part of the community. And that's like finding your people is huge because they'll be a rock for you when you need, and you'll be a rock for them when they need. So they said, move if you want to move faster, go alone. If you want to move farther, go together. And I think they got that wrong. I think faster and further is together.
Oh,
Because
I
when I'm
love that.
weak, they keep me moving. All
Mhm.
right? And life, the resistance, whatever you call it, it gets us all. Like we're all trying to do something, so we're all going to face the resistance. I call it. And when you have people like this, and then people like like the family, the blue and green, and people around me, and the people that pour love into us, it makes it so much easier, I guess, to be able to keep going and to handle the hard parts, the
Mhm.
tears, the stress, the screaming, the sleepless nights, I sometimes I feel like Justin. I just go lift weights, just angrily. He lifts much heavier weights. I'm doing like 5 pound. He's doing like 25 pound. We're a little different, but we're the same. But that is how do you get through? Is when you're when we let go of the ego, and what happens is like we have a lot of alpha leaders, like I'm the guru, I'm the person, right? Like I'm blessed. Our community is full of leaders. Like, so I don't say I'm the leader, I say we're the leaders.
Yeah.
So when I'm weak, I got a bunch of leaders around me that I can lean on that keep me going. So I'm blessed to find your tribe, find your people, they'll keep you moving.
And that is true. And when Denise talked earlier about being afraid to ask for help, I feel that that's the first place to open yourself up to finding that tribe, to finding that community, as accepting that I can't do this on my own and I need people around me. Talk about how does one overcome feeling like they really don't belong? Like, you create such a welcoming environment, but what can you say to the person that is still afraid to walk through that door or feels like I can't sit at that table? Like, how do you make them feel welcome?
I mean, one, welcome to being a human. I mean, I think we still feel that sometimes, right? Like there's still times where I'm like, yeah, I gotta let this go. I gotta let people in a little bit. They can help me. All right. I'm not a burden. All right. Some people like love to be there. Martha, she's crazy. She loves to be there for people. All right. Like Martha was like, I'm gonna do my spoil myself weekend. And then she's like, never mind. Right. She'll be there for someone. She loves being there for people. Like David V. Like I can go through so many names in this thing of people. Moises in the house, right? Like my dude. Julie won't let me not talk to her. Right. Like I'm like, don't make me open up. And people, I don't know if I text different or post different. I think I use grammar when I'm upset. So like if you see a period in my thing, everybody's like, oh, Mike's worked up. We should reach out. Right. But understanding that like people have special gifts. Jennifer Bennett's in the house too. Right. People have special gifts. And if you're not willing to open up, they can't help it. And also, what kind of relationships do you want? Do you want surface level relationships? You want to talk to me about the Mets? I love the Mets. I'll talk to you about the Mets. All right. But that's a surface level conversation. That's a surface level relationship. The more we open up, the deeper our relationships can be. All right. So if we're willing to be more open with one another, if we're willing to say, like, you know, this sucks a little bit, why this sucks. All right. I've been telling everybody recently this sucks because of the event coming up. So I'm like, this sucks. Everything sucks. When you're willing to open up, the level of connection goes deeper. And the more vulnerable we're willing to be. And I don't mean like you got to go onto the mountain and scream from the mountaintop with David, with the summit, and like to be open. Like you can just be like, hey, I'm talking to you and I'm going to be open about it, David, because your thing's the mountain, from the mountaintop. I wasn't talking trash actually for once. So when you're willing to open up, be vulnerable, and talk to someone about something, you have the chance for that to be seen and at least be understood. And even if they can't help you, they'll at least be there. Like there's some things we can't help with. You know, we're all human. So, but just knowing there's people there and that you can connect, open up, and pour into one another and receive, right? If it's a shoulder, if it's a tissue, right? If it's just standing there letting you scream like I'm a tree, whatever it is.
And that's the big part. I think for some people, it's hard to receive, you know, when we're so used to giving,
I
or
hate
just
receiving.
wanting, yeah.
I can't even take a compliment. Someone gives me a compliment, I think something's wrong. I'm like, why are you saying that? You're talking trash? Like, what are you making a joke?
And I'm like, just take it, just receive it.
Right? Like, I get so defensive. Someone's like, bro, that was good. I'm like, oh yeah, you think so? Like they're like, yeah. It gets real awkward. So yeah, receiving's hard.
Yeah. And I know like you have impacted like my family. Okay. And I'm sharing that on here because I know my mom was like, is Michael gonna be there? You know, and it's just funny. And even my son Josiah, between you and Justin, like, you know, those are you guys impact and influence people whether you realize it or not. Is that heavy, or is it not even a thought in your mind?
Most of the time, I don't even think I'm impacting anyone, so it's fine, right? I'm just like being me, silly, dumb. But sometimes when you know you're going to speak on stage, why I picked interview style. First of all, I thought I was gonna be like the only one that picked interview style. I see the list, everybody picked interview style.
Everybody did,
right?
yeah.
I'm like, geez, all right. Like I thought it was
And I'm
gonna be
like,
different.
okay, I guess I'm just not gonna go pee today.
Right? Yeah, you are the hostess with the mostest today. You're like the new, I don't know TV hosts these days, but whatever they are, you're the best one of them.
Oh,
The
good. Remember that you said that when I tell you all what I'm doing next. But anyway, go
oh
ahead.
golly, that makes me nervous. But the time where it's like heavy is like when you're about to go like on a stage or something. For me, that's for me, just because you know your job there, right? And what takes a little of the weight off the shoulders is like it's not me, right? It's whatever's working through me to get to the people. So that's why before I go on stage, I would say whatever's meant to work through me, just work through me. I'll get out of the way. So I don't mess it up because if I'm there, I'm very human. I mess up almost everything. I'm told my daughter tells me I put the toilet paper on wrong. I didn't even know that was a thing. All right. So when you're doing it, it's just most of the time you don't even know you're doing it. But when you step on stage, you kind of feel it, but you know it's not about you or for you because of you. So you just let it flow and then step off. And the one person you were meant to impact, hopefully you impacted, and life
Well,
goes
well,
on.
and I do love that. But the reality is that yes, it if you are a vessel, you are being used and you are impacting, and you have been a blessing in my life and my family's life, and
Mm.
even just creating the community. Okay, we'll get real and raw here because that's what we do. I had never even like talked about suicide or um like it exists, but it never really like touched me. And when my oldest son, because he talks about it now, it's his story, but when he was in a really 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 dark place, I don't believe it's any coincidence that that's when God led me to go to your event for myself, but the environment that made it okay to say I need help, because you guys are open to talk about it. That's huge.
Right. I'll never forget you at the first event. Like that memory will be one that I have forever. When I was like, I snuck away to the bar and I just look over to the left of me and you're sitting there eating, like looking at me. And you're like, whatever the question is tomorrow, the answer is yes. I was like, what? You're like, I'm just trying to sneak away for a second. You're like, whatever you're asking me tomorrow, the answer is yes. Just let you know, whatever it is. I was like, so then I went back to the room. I was like, I think we need to make a bigger offer or something. I'm getting told it's going to be yes no matter what. And they're like, shut up. I'm like, all right. All right. But I think I would love to, the ego part of me would love to be like, you're right. That's what I do. Right. I open the doors and life is different. But really, I wish I was the case, but it ain't. There's amazing people. We're blessed. Like the people we know, the people in the room, the people in the mastermind, the people in the family, like they're phenomenal people. There's people literally in our mastermind that don't even talk to me. They're like, bro, I don't care about you at all, really. Like you're all right. Like you're the worst part of the group. I'm like, well, that's rude. You don't have to tell me that part. You can leave that out. You can just be happy with the group. You know what I mean? But there's people that literally in our community that are invested, right? Like it's not free, right? Like so there's invested. They don't talk to any, they're just like, what I want to know is that if it's needed, it's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, like,
Yeah.
okay. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the power of just amazing people with amazing souls and amazing hearts. And if you really build your tribe up and like do it with intention,
Mm-hmm.
well, life's different.
Yeah, and it is different. And so, for those that are here, let's talk about that first event, because it's important for people to realize, like, I didn't know anyone. Okay. I had been praying, I think it was the end of 2021. I had built so much on my own. I had been alone, alone, alone. That's my safe space. And I remember praying to God, like, God, I need team and I need community. I need team and I need community. But when you've been in a narcissistic relationship, you don't trust people very well. You like to hide. You don't want to be seen. Like you're even afraid to talk. And so how in the heck do you meet team and community? I'm not even kidding. I'm on my beanbag because I didn't even have a couch yet, watching a movie with my son, and Michael messages me about Movement Maker coming up like months. And I said, yeah, he didn't. I don't even think I read the details, but I'm like, yes, I'll be there. So I didn't know nobody. I knew Michael through what, John Maxwell, like from like years ago, but I drove to Nashville, went in this room of over 100 people by myself, didn't know no one, had never met Michael in person anyway. And I'm like, the answer is yes. Why? Because God was giving me what I prayed for. Right? So how many
Yeah.
times does God actually give you what you're praying for, but you're like, well, I can't afford it. I can't get the days off. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know nobody. When he gives it to you, go for it. And that's what Michael's talking about.
The trust you have in God is amazing. Because let's say if I was like, let's find community, and then someone that looks like me pops up in your inbox, I don't know if I trust that much. You know what I mean? Like I'm me, and I still might second guess it. I'd be like, whoa, hold up. Like, let's answer some questions for her. Let's do a little test. Let's do a little investigating. All right. Google search this guy. Can we pay police to do a background check? Like something. Right. So like the trust you had just to be like, look at this squirrel hunting homeless person. I've been called all of them.
Yeah, you
And
look like my cousin. You look like one of my cousins. I trusted you.
you mean a handsome man? Thank you. That's what I'm going to take it as. Your cousin's a handsome man. All right. No, but like for you to trust that and just step into that, like that's ultimate courage. And the only way to change your situation is courage, right? Like
Yeah,
you got to step into it and be like, this is going to be something I'm going to do because I'm going to trust that they're going to put me in the right spot. And if I'm not, I'm going to trust they're going to let me know I'm not.
yep, yep. And I love
Right.
it. And some days you just have to take action and just go with the flow. But my dear friend, thank you so much for spending some of your time with us on this amazing
Right.
purpose, really, of
Well,
what we're here to do, and just share from our heart. So thank you.
first, thank you. I mean, you doing this, you have amazing people here. You're doing this all day. I mean, I think you love this stuff because you do Christmas in July for like 24 hours, which is nuts. Then you have rock star after rock star coming on. I feel inadequate being here. Like it's just amazing what you do and how you pour into your people. You're clearly a leader that people love to follow because we're all here for it. I can't wait just to sit and listen to everybody and just take it in. But thank you so much for creating this and giving me an opportunity to talk to you a little bit. I love it. You did a great job, by the way. Best interview I ever had, unless
Thanks,
someone else
man.
asks.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, ma'am. Can't
Because the
wait.
answer is yes.
Oh, my mom keeps asking me if your mom's coming. I'm like, what? I don't
Now
know.
she's probably on here, and we were talking about this the other day. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
but
Bring
then
them all.
Josiah's like, wait. He's like, wait, where are we going? When are we going?
Yes, ma'am. Bring them. Bring everybody. We're doing it again. Family reunion.
So